A St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter broke some interesting news yesterday, and that was the St. Louis Zoo wants to buy Grant's Farm. David Hunn, good morning.
Hello, McGraw. Hello, Kelly.
Hi.
I apologize for forgetting about you.
Hey, it's not the first time someone has forgotten. Someone important in my life has forgotten.
This is big news. Quickly, there was lots of information in your story. I was confused. AB InBev wants to donate $27 million to help the zoo buy it. So is the total cost $57 million or is it $30 million?
No, yeah, $30 million roughly. I mean, one thing that's interesting in all of this is there's nothing set in stone yet. So we actually don't know exactly how much it's going to be.
Okay.
So for instance, the $30 million is an estimate, and they think that's about what it is. But what if the Bush family wants to keep 23 acres, including the big house, which because they want to keep that ancestral property.
Right.
So if they keep that, then it's going to be a little less or a little more.
So we don't know the final price, but we do know AB InBev has donated $27 million to the zoo to help buy the property, whatever that final price is. Got it. They were talking about only if it passes through a vote. Is the vote? I guess this is early stages. We don't know who or what that vote is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the most interesting things about all of this. They say they need some operations money, and they say that operations money could range from roughly $3.5 million to roughly $8.5 million. But they want to go figure out if people want it. I mean, I think they are, trying to be respectful to voters here, in that they're not going to buy this if the voters don't pass it, if they don't add on the tax measure. So they're going to go figure out do some polling and stuff like that, and figure out if people want to support this with a tax. They say they need the extra money. They say they're using all the money right now. They get $20 million a year in tax money already from St. Louis City and St. Louis County to run their main campus. Mm-hmm. So this would be an additional tax. They're thinking a sales tax would be the most popular, but they're open to other ideas if the public says they want other. If they'd rather have a property tax, which probably won't happen, then maybe they'd do that. What's interesting is what happens. If it goes into St. Charles, if it goes into Franklin, if it goes into Jefferson counties, that's a fascinating proposal. Yeah.
More importantly, is the beer going to remain free at Grant's Farm?
Beer stays free, they say. And AB InBev is committed to giving samples, continuing to give samples. Now, I personally wonder what that means. Does it mean little samples, or does it mean the full beer that you get now when you go to Grant's Farm?
And then you have the story, David Hunn from the Post-Dispatch, that Billy Bush, who is the only Bush still brewing beer with Craftig beer, he's throwing a wrench in this. He doesn't want it sold.
Yeah, right, exactly. So the genesis of this is these 6 Bush heirs who all want, who have tried for years to figure out what to do with Grant's Farm. I mean, the kind of the dirty side of this is that this is at the base of it kind of a money issue, right? So it hasn't been making money. It's been losing $3.5, $4 million a year. It's a free, the entry is free. Obviously, you have to pay for some things like feeding the goats.
Right.
But it's been losing money. Anheuser-Busch AB InBev doesn't want it, right?
Right.
Because it's a money loser. So they say they're committed to continuing to run it if they have to. But, I think we can all read between the lines, right? They want to get rid of it if they can. And at the same time, the family says, hey, this isn't working for us long-term either. And we're worried about what happens if it passes down to the 30 grandchildren also listed in the suit.
Right.
So they've been trying to figure this out for years and to no success. That's how it ends up in court.
And there's just a developer who would love to get their hands on all that land right there in the middle of South County.
Right. So that's the other side, right, is you really do have to look at this and say, well, what's the alternative? They sell it to a developer and they build homes? I mean, I'm not sure that's what
right.
I guarantee you people around there don't want that. Right?
Yeah, mm-hmm. Really interesting stuff. All right, David Hunn on the story about St. Louis Zoo and the possibility of them buying Grant's Farm, and that sent shockwaves throughout St. Louis yesterday. David Hunn, thanks for checking in. Have a good morning.
Good morning, guys.
You got it. And pick up your coffee cup that you dropped in the middle of the interview.
Sorry.
8:10 here, Big 550, KTRS.